You have been speaking since the moment you arrived in this world, yet it is entirely possible that you have never truly grasped what occurs when you open your mouth. Consider this moment right now. What if every single syllable that has ever left your lips was not merely a tool for communication, but an act of creation itself? We often believe that the universe responds to our physical labor, our endless struggles, and the sweat on our brows. But what if the cosmos is actually listening to something far more immediate, something you are doing in this very breath, whether you are aware of it or not? Your voice is not just sound. It is a frequency. It is the ancient concept of logos. Once you truly comprehend what that means, the rigid nature of your reality begins to bend and soften. You are currently inhabiting a conversation that you do not remember starting. Every single circumstance that surrounds you, every recurring pattern that frustrates you, and every limitation that seems to hold you back did not appear by simple accident. These things appeared because somewhere along the line, you spoke them into existence. You likely did not do this with conscious intention. It was not a deliberate choice to suffer. Rather, it was the vibrational blueprint embedded deeply within your language that summoned these realities. The universe, in its infinite mechanism, does not hear what you intend to say. It hears what you are actually broadcasting. It obeys the signal, not the wish. It responds with absolute mathematical precision. Before any physical form took shape, before matter crystallized into the objects you can touch and see, there was sound, there was vibration, there was the word. This is not about words as they sit stagnant in dictionaries, trapped by the rules of grammar. This is about the living, intelligent force that moves through all of creation. That same electric, creative force flows through your vocal cords right now. It lives in every breath you take and every syllable you articulate. You are not separate from this creative principle. You are the active expression of it. When you speak, you are issuing direct, encoded instructions to the field of infinite possibility. The ancients understood this deep mystery. They treated language not as a casual habit, but as a sacred technology. They understood that speech was the bridge connecting the invisible realm of consciousness to the visible realm of matter. To them, careless words were dangerous, not because of etiquette, but because they knew reality reorganizes itself according to resonance, not effort. What you declare consistently becomes what you experience perpetually. This is not poetry. This is not a metaphor to make you feel better. This is quantum physics dressed in spiritual language. Imagine for a moment a string on a finely tuned instrument. When you pluck that string, the entire body of the instrument responds. The air surrounding it begins to vibrate. Sound waves radiate outward, touching everything in their path. Everything in the vicinity adjusts to match that frequency. Your words operate in the exact same manner. Each word carries an energetic signature, a specific ripple that travels through the quantum field, adjusting the probability patterns of what can manifest in your life. You're not merely observing reality, you are tuning it. The tragedy is that most people have been tuning into static and noise their entire lives, without ever realizing they are the ones holding the instrument. Every word you speak holds power that transcends its dictionary definition. When spoken unconsciously, your language scatters interference patterns through your energy field, creating chaos and confusion. However, when spoken with deep awareness, your words become precision tools that recalibrate your entire experience. You become a living frequency generator, broadcasting the exact signal that reality has no choice but to match. Here is the revelation that changes everything. You do not need to learn a new skill. You do not need to acquire some missing piece of the puzzle. You simply need to recognize what you have been doing all along and choose to do it consciously. Those who have mastered this principle do not necessarily speak more. Often, they speak less, but when they do speak, it is with complete presence. They release the habit of complaint. They soften the edge of judgment. They choose words infused with clarity, gratitude, and power. They know that a single word spoken from a place of deep knowing carries more creative force than 1,000 words spoken from nervous habit. They have learned something that most people go a lifetime without discovering. The universe has not changed its response mechanism since the beginning of time. It still answers to the logos. You are always speaking, and therefore, you are always shaping, whether you intend to or not. So, the question that shifts your timeline is this: what reality are you speaking into existence right now? What patterns are you reinforcing with the stories you tell yourself about your day? What frequency are you broadcasting when you describe your life, your limitations, and your possibilities? The answers to these questions reveal the exact blueprint the universe is following to construct your daily experience. Allow me to guide you into a story that reveals the mechanics of this phenomenon. There was once a woman who lived by the edge of the sea, surrounded by what the average person would call scarcity. Her home felt cold and empty. Her plants were withered and dying in their pots. Her relationships felt hollow and distant. Every single morning she would look around her environment and speak her perceived reality. She would say, "Nothing ever grows here." She would say, "I am stuck in this lack." And the universe, being the faithful servant that it is, simply said yes. It delivered exactly that experience, mirroring her declaration perfectly. Then, one ordinary morning, something shifted. The shift did not happen in her circumstances. It happened in her awareness. She remembered a piece of wisdom her grandmother had whispered to her decades ago. Wisdom about gentle words carrying creative power. Instead of speaking to her dying plants with resignation and sorrow, she spoke to them with tenderness. She said, "You bring grace to this space." She said, "Your leaves dance with life." The words felt strange on her tongue at first, almost foolish, as if she were pretending. But she continued. By sunset, those plants had not just survived, they had grown vibrant and full. This did not happen gradually over weeks. It happened that same day. Here is what you must understand about this event. The truth was not in the words themselves as arbitrary sounds. The truth was in the frequency those words carried into the field. She shifted from broadcasting a signal of lack to broadcasting a signal of abundance, and reality reorganized itself to match the new signal. Your words are not mere sounds that dissipate into silence. They are living architectures of energy that the universe responds to with perfect reciprocity. When she stopped her daily complaints about limitation, abundance began flowing naturally. Her garden flourished, her relationships deepened, and her path cleared. She discovered that gratitude, when spoken, creates a resonance pattern that reality must match. This is the forgotten science of manifestation. It does not work through force. It does not work through struggle. It works through frequency. In that same village, there lived a clockmaker whose shop was overwhelmed with broken timepieces. He worked frantically, never catching up, always feeling behind. His words reflected his chaotic experience. He would constantly say, "There is never enough time." He would say, "I am always running late," and so he was. The universe confirmed his bias until desperation led him to try something different. He began speaking to his clocks with words of precision and perfection. He said, "You keep perfect time." He said, "Your gears turn with flawless grace." Within days, his rushed schedule seemed to expand physically. He found himself with all the time he needed. The broken clocks began working again under his harmonious attention, as if they were responding not to his mechanical skill, but to his coherent speech. What he discovered is what quantum physics is only now beginning to validate. Coherent speech literally shifts the probability field. His alignment with precision through conscious language brought his reality into a higher order. These are not fairy tales. These are demonstrations of exact universal law. When your words align with the frequency of what you wish to experience, you enter into a partnership with the intelligence that sustains worlds. The part that most people miss is that you do not create this partnership through hard labor. You create it through resonance. The universe does not reward struggle, it rewards alignment. Take this truth into your body for a moment. Throughout your day today, feel each word leave your lips as if it were a stream of light, weaving new forms into existence. Let gratitude infuse every sound you make, creating ripples of harmony through the field. Watch as your environment begins reflecting back the coherence you are speaking into being. Your voice carries the power to reshape reality, not metaphorically, but literally. Use it with awareness and grace. The power of your words flows far beyond simple communication. They are the architects of your reality, weaving the fabric of your experience with each utterance. This truth revealed itself through a baker whose bread kept emerging from the oven charred and heavy. Each morning, as she kneaded the dough, her thoughts raced with worry. She would think, what if it does not rise? What if I fail again? And sure enough, her fears manifested in burnt, dense loaves. This pattern continued until one dawn, when sunlight streamed through her window, and she remembered teachings passed down through generations. She remembered that love, when spoken with pure intention, holds the power to transform matter. From that moment on, she began whispering blessings into her dough. She said, "You are perfection taking form." She said, "Nourishment flows to all who receive you." As her words changed, so did her creations. The bread began emerging golden and light, filled with air pockets that seemed to carry her loving intentions forward. This truth extends beyond the physical realm into something more fundamental. Your words carry vibrations that ripple through the quantum field, shaping the very matrix of existence. Every syllable you utter sends waves of energy into the universe, which then reflects back the frequency you have released. It is not magic. It is the natural law of vibration expressing itself through conscious speech. Consider a bus driver whose daily route through congested city streets had become a source of constant frustration. His words would pierce the air with sharp edges. He would say, "This traffic is impossible." He would say, "We will never get through." And as if responding to his declaration, the gridlock would tighten its grip, validating his prediction. Then one day, an old passenger shared a simple truth with him. The passenger said, "The world dances to the rhythm of our words." The driver began shifting his language. He started saying, "The path opens before us." He said, "We flow like water through these streets." To his amazement, the traffic began to part as if responding to a conductor's baton. His passengers noticed the change too. Their faces softened. Their journeys became peaceful, all moving in harmony with his transformed declarations. The universe responded not to the dictionary definition of his words, but to the emotional charge they carried. When you speak with intention aligned with the highest good, reality itself begins to reorganize around your declarations. This is not magic disguised as science. This is the natural law of vibration expressing itself through the power of conscious speech. And here is what makes this so profound. You do not need to believe it blindly for it to work. You just need to practice it with presence. As you move through your day, let your heart precede your tongue. Speak as though each breath shapes kindness into form. Watch as your words gently dissolve external resistance, transforming congestion into smooth passage. Let every utterance become a blessing, knowing that your voice holds the power to mold reality itself. This is the practice. This is the path. This is how you step into your role as a conscious creator. Deep within your being lies a truth waiting to awaken. The resonance between your words and their manifestation depends not on mindless repetition, but on the depth of your conviction. This wisdom unveiled itself through a woman who diligently recited morning affirmations for months. She would say, "I am abundant." She would say, "I am worthy." She would say, "I am successful." Month after month, her circumstances remained unchanged, as if the universe had turned a deaf ear to her declarations. Then came the morning when understanding dawned, like the first light breaking through storm clouds. As she spoke her daily affirmations, she noticed how hollow they felt, like empty vessels carrying no power. In that moment of awareness, she stopped her mechanical recitations. Instead, she closed her eyes and allowed herself to feel the reality of abundance already present in her life. She spoke not from a place of desire, but from a place of recognition. Her words carried the weight of truth already manifested. Within weeks, opportunities began flowing into her life as naturally as breath. What changed was not the words themselves, but the conviction behind them, the felt sense of reality they carried. She stopped chasing what she did not have and started acknowledging what already was, and the field responded immediately. This same principle revealed itself through a violinist whose mastery was matched only by his fear of performing. Before each concert, his inner voice would whisper of impending failure, and his hands would tremble in response. His breakthrough came when he discovered that his internal dialogue shaped more than his thoughts. It orchestrated his physical reality. Rather than fighting his anxiety, he began speaking to himself as though confidence already filled his being. He would say, "I trust in the music flowing through me," feeling the truth of these words in every cell of his body. His declarations were not hopes for the future. They were acknowledgments of present reality. The trembling in his hands ceased, replaced by a steady certainty that flowed through his performances. Your words are not mere sounds cast into the void. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. When doubt clings to your declarations, they become as weightless as autumn leaves in the wind. But when you speak from the quiet certainty of what already is, your words carry the power to reshape reality itself. The ancient ones understood this mystery. Logos manifests not through the mechanical repetition of phrases, but through the alignment of thought, emotion, and unwavering belief. Each word you speak is a note in the symphony of creation, and its power lies not in volume, but in resonance. Before you speak your next declaration, draw 3 conscious breaths. Let each word rise from a place of deep knowing rather than wanting. Feel the reality of what you declare as present now, not as a future possibility. Speak with the calm assurance of one who observes what is, rather than the strain of one who seeks what is not. Within the hidden sanctuaries of your mind, there exists a power far greater than the mechanical repetition of vocabulary. It is the sacred marriage between utterance and belief, the alchemical fusion of sound and conviction. This ancient truth reveals itself through the lives of all those who have dared to walk the path of conscious creation. Consider the story of a woman whose sharp wit was once legendary. Capable of cutting through any conversation like a biting winter wind, her clever remarks often drew laughter from the crowd, but they left invisible wounds in the energetic field around her. She would quip that existence was merely a series of letdowns, a comedic tragedy of errors, garnering appreciative chuckles from those who lived in the same frequency of cynicism. Yet, as the seasons turned, she began to notice a troubling pattern. Her external experiences began to mirror her sardonic commentary with frightening accuracy. Friends drifted away like smoke. Opportunities dissolved before she could grasp them. Each passing day seemed to validate her cynical worldview, creating a feedback loop of disappointment. The turning point arrived in a moment of unexpected stillness when she witnessed her young niece speaking to a butterfly in the garden. She heard gentle words floating on the summer air, devoid of irony, filled with pure wonder. Something stirred within her heart, a deep remembrance of an innocence she had long forgotten. Inspired, she began a quiet experiment. She started replacing her biting commentary with playful, open-hearted observations. When faced with the unexpected, instead of defaulting to sarcasm, she would exclaim, "What a delightful surprise!" When listening to the stories of others, her response shifted from judgment to, "How fascinating." Within a matter of weeks, the very fabric of her reality began to shift. Friends sought her company, drawn to the new warmth she radiated. Colleagues shared their deeper truths, and trust bloomed like spring flowers in a desert. Her world transformed from a place of harsh, jagged edges to one of gentle possibilities, proving that the universe does not punish you for your tone, it simply reflects it. This principle manifested again through a barber in a small, quiet town. For years, he had treated his shop as a dumping ground for complaints, listening to his customers' troubles while trimming their hair, responding only with non-committal grunts and low energy. One day, inspired by a whisper from his own intuition, he decided to change the frequency of his establishment. He began offering genuine, high-vibration compliments along with his services. To a tired mother, he said, "Your kindness to your children will create ripples of love for generations to come." To a struggling artist, he shared, "Your dedication to your craft is a beacon that inspires us all." The shift was electric. Soon, his small shop overflowed with clients. People would wait for extra hours, not just for the precise cuts, but for the healing frequency of the words he spoke. His income doubled, then tripled, without a single dollar spent on marketing. It happened purely through the power of uplifting speech. What he discovered is exactly what you are discovering right now. The tone of your words carries an energetic signature, a unique barcode that shapes the very fabric of your reality. Each utterance sends ripples through the quantum field, attracting experiences that match its frequency. Harsh, jagged words create harsh, jagged realities. Gentle, harmonious words weave experiences of grace. Your voice is not merely a tool for communication. It is an instrument of creation. The universe responds not just to what you say, but to the emotional resonance carried within the cargo of your words. When you speak with genuine warmth, the world cannot help but warm to you in return. As the sun traces its path across the sky today, become hyper-aware of your own voice's melody. Notice the texture of your words, their temperature, their weight. Where you find sharpness, consciously soften your tone. Where you discover heaviness, lift it with lightness. Let your speech flow like music rather than clash like discord. Feel how the universe responds to this harmonic shift, as though all of creation has been waiting to echo the song of your soul. With each gentle word, you are tuning the strings of reality itself. Now we must go deeper, for there is a hidden grammar to faith itself. A structural code embedded in language that either imprisons your energy or liberates it. A teacher discovered this profound secret after 30 years of feeling trapped in the heavy cage of obligation. Each morning of her life began with a litany of burdens. She would say, "I must grade these papers." She would say, "I must prepare the lesson for tomorrow." She would say, "I must attend another meeting." The weight of the word "must" pressed upon her shoulders like ancient stones, creating a gravitational field of resistance. Then one morning, as sunlight painted golden rectangles on her classroom floor, she stumbled upon wisdom hidden in a forgotten manuscript. It spoke of the power within the structure of language itself. The text suggested a simple yet revolutionary shift, moving from the bondage of must to the liberation of may. With a sense of tentative hope, she began reshaping her daily dialogue. "I may grade these papers" replaced the heavy decree of "I must." "I may prepare tomorrow's lesson" took the place of rigid obligation. It seemed like a subtle shift, almost trivial, yet it rippled through the fabric of her experience like waves across still water. Within days, the atmosphere of her classroom transformed. The very air seemed lighter, charged with possibility rather than duty. Her students responded to this new energy, their own rigid postures softening as they absorbed the language of permission rather than demand. The universal law revealed itself clearly. When you speak in the grammar of freedom, reality arranges itself accordingly. This same truth emerged in the experience of a mail carrier. For years, he had fallen into the habit of declaring his exhaustion to anyone who would listen. "I am tired," became his mantra, a heavy refrain that made each step more burdensome than the last. One day, while delivering a package to a wise elder, he received more than a signature. He received a transmission of truth. The elder spoke of energy as a flowing river rather than a finite resource stored in a jar. That evening, the mail carrier chose different words. "I am recharging" replaced his familiar complaint. This simple linguistic shift altered the current of his energy. As days passed, he noticed his feet felt lighter, his spirit more buoyant. The same route that once drained him now seemed to invigorate him. His new language created a different relationship with energy itself. He was no longer a battery to be depleted, but a circuit continuously renewed by the infinite source. These seemingly simple adjustments in grammar revealed a profound truth. The architecture of our sentences builds the structure of our experience. When we speak in the language of permission rather than punishment, of renewal rather than depletion, we align ourselves with the natural flow of universal energy. The great mind of the cosmos responds not to the surface meaning of our words, but to the underlying beliefs encoded in their structure. Every may opens a door that must had sealed shut. Every reference to renewal invites fresh energy that the word tired would have blocked. For the next 7 days, become a vigilant observer of your habitual language patterns. Notice the grammatical structures that imprison your energy and those that set it free. Then, with conscious intent, watch as your reformed language reconstructs your reality, bringing ease to both your body and your circumstance. But the power of Logos extends even further, into the realm of silence. Within ancient wisdom lies a truth about silent language, a sacred understanding that transforms the very fabric of existence from the inside out. As you step into this knowledge, you will discover that the words you speak to yourself, the internal monologue that never reaches the air, carry the same creative force as those spoken aloud. Consider a woman in a bustling city square who spent her mornings attempting to meditate, forcing her mind into silence through sheer willpower. Day after day, she struggled against her thoughts, believing peace required an absolute vacuum of mental activity. Yet, the more she fought for stillness, the more elusive it became. One dawn, as she sat on her usual bench, she ceased her battle with thought. Instead of trying to empty her mind, she began sending silent messages of love to each passerby. "May you be blessed with joy," she projected silently. "May light fill your path. May peace embrace you." Without effort or strain, she found herself entering a state of natural, deep meditation. Her inner dialogue had become a channel for universal benevolence. Within days, remarkable coincidences began occurring around her. A stranger she had silently blessed returned to thank her for the unexplained wave of peace they had felt while passing her bench. An elderly man she had mentally wished well found his lost wedding ring beneath her bench. The very atmosphere around her seemed to shimmer with synchronicity. What she discovered is what quantum physics is beginning to validate. Your inner speech shapes the matrix of reality as powerfully as spoken words. The universe responds not to the volume of your voice, but to the resonance of your thoughts and feelings. When you shift from forced action to aligned intention, from demanding to appreciating, you tap into the original language of creation itself. Sacred texts across the ages speak of this truth, that silence carries its own grammar, that thoughts are seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Just as a mother's love needs no words to reach her child, your inner dialogue of benevolence ripples through the fabric of existence, creating patterns of harmony and synchronicity. A farmer whose fields lay parched under cloudless skies discovered this truth in a profound way. While others anxiously watched weather forecasts and lamented the drought, he walked his land each morning, offering silent gratitude for the rain that had not yet fallen. "Thank you for the life-giving water," he would think, vividly feeling the moisture in the soil that was yet to come. He did not hope for rain, he acknowledged it. Against all meteorological predictions, clouds gathered above his farm. Rain fell precisely where and when his crops needed it most, as if responding to his internal dialogue of appreciation. This is not wishful thinking creating coincidence. This is consciousness directly interfacing with the field of infinite possibility. Sit in stillness for 11 minutes each morning. Rather than forcing your mind to empty, allow your inner voice to become a gentle stream of blessing. Direct loving thoughts towards situations and people in your life as if you are speaking in the original language of the universe. Feel each thought as a ripple of light expanding outward, knowing that your silent communion with life itself is heard and answered by the cosmic intelligence that orchestrates all creation. If what you are experiencing right now is touching something deep within you, if this frequency is resonating with a truth you have always known but never quite articulated, then you are beginning to tune into the conversation that exists between consciousness and creation. In a village beneath towering mountains, there lived another woman who spoke with the swiftness of summer storms. Her words tumbled forth without filter, scattering like leaves in the autumn winds. Though her heart held warmth, her unguarded tongue often cast shadows where she meant to shine light. One morning, after harsh words escaped her lips toward her elderly neighbor, she watched pain flash across the woman's weathered face. In that crystalline moment, time seemed to pause, and wisdom whispered its ancient truth to her. The power lay not in the words themselves, but in the sacred space before their birth. This revelation opens a gateway to understanding the fundamental law of creation. Every utterance begins as a seed in the soil of consciousness. When you learn to dwell in the space between impulse and expression, you access the divine workshop where reality takes form. This interval, brief yet infinite, holds the power to transmute reaction into response, darkness into light. In this moment of awareness, she discovered that speech carries the signature of its origin. Words born of unconscious reaction bear the weight of shadow, while those emerging from conscious presence shine with transformative power. Each pause became her sanctuary, a temple where intention could align with the highest good. An artist in the same village discovered that before putting pen to paper, if he first wrote his intentions as affirmations, his characters came alive with unusual vibrancy. "Joy flows through my art," he would write. "These panels carry light to every reader." The results transformed his work. Readers wrote letters speaking of newfound hope, of smiles that lasted for days, of courage discovered between the panels of his stories. He had tapped into the same truth she learned, that consciousness, when properly prepared, becomes the fertile ground from which all creation springs. This wisdom reveals that your words are not mere sounds, but the culmination of an inner journey. The quality of that journey determines the power of your speech. In the space before words form, you hold the power to infuse them with the light of awareness or the shadows of unconscious reaction. Before speaking, create a heartbeat of stillness. Let awareness illuminate your intention like the first rays of dawn touching the horizon. Feel the warmth of conscious choice spreading through your being, and let this radiance naturally filter every word that follows. This practice transforms speech from unconscious habit to conscious creation, allowing your words to carry the signature of divine intention. In the quiet solitude of a garden, bathed in the first gray light of dawn, a gardener kneels before the freshly tilled earth. Beside her sits a basket of seeds, small and unassuming. Most who plant seeds do so with a vague sense of hope, a wish that nature might be kind. But this woman operates on a different frequency. As she presses a tomato seed into the soil, she does not ask it to grow. She speaks to it. "You are already abundant," she whispers, her voice carrying the weight of absolute conviction. To the herb seeds, she murmurs, "Your leaves are already unfolding with healing power." Within days, her garden defies the known laws of agriculture. Seedlings break through the crust of the earth with ferocious vigor, stretching toward the sun at a speed that baffles the eye. Plants that typically require weeks to mature burst into fullness in mere days. Her neighbors lean over the fences, marveling at the lush explosion of green, whispering among themselves about secret fertilizers or lucky soil. But she knows the truth. It is not what she added to the physical soil that caused the miracle. It is the certainty she planted alongside each seed. The universe does not respond to tentative wishes or fragile wants. It responds to unwavering declarations. When you speak with absolute certainty, matter itself bends to accommodate your truth. Each word uttered with total conviction becomes a command that reality has no choice but to follow. This is the ancient, immutable law of creation. Move from the garden to the heart of a sprawling city where a jeweler sits in his small shop, surrounded by the cold glitter of precious stones and delicate metalwork. For months, the bell above his door has remained silent. The business is slow, the air stagnant. Yet, instead of lamenting the empty hours or sinking into the vibration of failure, he begins each morning with a radical act of defiance. He stands in the center of his shop and declares, "I am grateful for the abundance of customers who value my craft. I thank the universe for the joy of serving them today." He speaks these words not as a desperate plea, but as a statement of fact. feeling the truth of them rattling in his bones. Within weeks, the energy shifts. Customers begin appearing as if summoned by an invisible beacon. They walk in, dazed, saying they felt inexplicably drawn to his window, or that they dreamt of the specific pieces he had created. Soon, his hands can barely keep pace with the flood of commissions. These experiences illuminate a fundamental mechanic of reality that you must grasp. The universe does not distinguish between what is physically in front of you and what you declare with absolute certainty. Your declarations are not mere descriptions of the present. They are blueprints for the immediate future. Every statement made with unwavering conviction sets cosmic forces in motion. The key lies not in hoping or wishing, but in declaring with such density of belief that doubt finds no space to exist. When you speak as though your desire is already manifest, you create a resonance vacuum that the physical world must rush to fill. This isn't magic. This is the natural law of creation expressing itself through your conscious command. Ancient mystery schools taught this secret through the ages. Speak first from the end result, never from the process of becoming. The power lies in declaring completion rather than progress, fulfillment rather than the journey toward it. When you master this art, you step into your true role as a conscious creator, speaking worlds into being with the same authority that set the stars in their orbits. Begin each day by boldly announcing your blessings as accomplished facts. Declare, I am, rather than I will be. Speak of your desires in the present tense with the calm certainty of one stating that the sky is blue. Feel the solidity of your declarations in your body and watch as the world rearranges itself to sustain the reality you have spoken into being. Consider the vegetable vendor in a bustling marketplace. Her morning often began with the familiar friction of frustration. These prices are terrible, she would mutter, watching potential buyers walk past her stall. Her words were painting a picture of lack, and the world was dutifully posing for the portrait. Yet, something shifted in her awareness, a remembrance of this ancient wisdom. Without hesitation, she decided to hack the system. She transformed her words instantly. I am grateful for the perfect value of everything I offer, she stated. As the sun climbed higher, she engaged in a practice of immediate alchemy. Each negative thought that arose was met with its positive counterpart. When her mind whispered, "Business is slow today," she immediately overrode it, declaring aloud, I welcome the perfect rhythm of abundance. Her energy transformed, and consequently, so did her reality. Customers began lingering at her stall, drawn by an inexplicable warmth, a magnetic pull they couldn't name. By midday, her baskets emptied faster than ever before. This is the law of reversal operating with mathematical precision. Each shadow thought, when consciously transformed, releases twice its power in light. You need not suppress the initial negative impulse. Instead, recognize it as an invitation to alchemical transformation. The moment you reverse a fearful thought into its trustful opposite, you activate a universal law that transmutes energy at its source. This truth finds its echo in the tale of a fisherman facing a gathering storm at sea. Dark clouds massed on the horizon, turning the water the color of bruised iron. His first instinct screamed danger, a primal fear rising in his throat. But remembering the ancient practice, he shifted his perception. He spoke to the wind and the waves. This storm cleanses and renews the waters, he declared. I welcome its power. The winds that threatened to capsize him now seemed to cradle his boat. The waves that loomed like monsters now appeared to dance with his vessel. What appears as coincidence to the untrained eye reveals itself as law to the initiated. When he reframed the storm's energy through his words, he aligned himself with a higher frequency that governs both nature and consciousness. The storm didn't vanish, but it transformed from a threat into an ally. His words shaped the matrix of the experience itself. Every complaint you utter contains within it the seed of its own transcendence. Each fear holds the blueprint of its corresponding trust. The power lies not in denial, but in conscious reversal, in the immediate translation of lower frequencies into higher ones. Throughout your day, catch each complaint as it forms on your tongue. Do not judge it. Simply transform it immediately into gratitude. If you think, "I am always late," declare, "I move in divine timing." When the thought, "I can't afford this," arises, speak, "I am aligned with infinite abundance." Continue this practice until the reflex of reversal becomes stronger than the initial negative impulse. Watch as your reality shifts to match your transformed declarations. This is the alchemy of conscious speech. This is how you become the magician you were always meant to be. High in a mountain village, a tea house owner ran a gathering place where travelers rested and shared stories. Each morning she prepared her special blends with practiced care. Yet she noticed a peculiar pattern unfolding before her eyes. On days when she greeted her guests with warmth, saying, "What a blessing to serve you today," the tea house filled with laughter and light conversation, the air itself seemed to sparkle. But when weariness crept into her voice and she muttered, "Another long day ahead," a heaviness settled over the room like a damp morning mist. Conversations died out. Guests seemed agitated. As weeks passed, she began to observe how her words shaped the very atmosphere of her establishment. When she spoke of abundance, guests left generous tips. When she mentioned the weather's perfection, even on cloudy days, travelers shared tales of beautiful journeys. Her tone became a melody to which the entire tea house danced. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds not to the dictionary meaning of your words, but to the vibration they carry. Each syllable you utter sends ripples through the fabric of existence, returning to you dressed in circumstances that match your linguistic frequency. This is the sacred law of reciprocal resonance. Your speech patterns create energetic templates that the universe faithfully reproduces. In a distant city, a tailor discovered this same truth through his craft. For years, his work had been adequate but unremarkable, standard garments for standard lives. One day, while threading his needle, he began speaking words of precision. "Every stitch aligns with divine perfection," he whispered. To his amazement, his hand seemed guided by an unseen force. Each garment emerged flawless, as though the thread itself responded to his declarations of excellence. "My work flows with grace and accuracy," he would say. Soon, his reputation spread through the city like wildfire. Customers marveled at the precision of his craftsmanship, unaware that he had discovered the ancient art of speaking reality into being. His words of mastery had become manifest in the very fabric he touched. Your world is a mirror reflecting back the energetic signature of your speech. When you speak of lack, lack appears. When you declare abundance, abundance flows. This is not mere coincidence, but the operation of universal law. The cosmos cannot help but echo your chosen frequency, for you are its co-creator, shaping reality through the vibration of your words. The power to reverse any condition lies in the conscious transformation of your speech patterns. As you align your words with the highest truth, reality must shift to match this new frequency. This is not magic, it is mathematics, the precise science of vibrational alignment. Begin each day by consciously choosing your words as though you were selecting precious gems from a treasure chest. Speak to life as you would to your own reflection in a mirror, with joy, expectation, and the certainty that your smile will be returned. Watch how your environment begins to mirror your linguistic radiance, multiplying your positive declarations in endless reflections of harmony and grace. However, there is a barrier that often blocks this flow, a dam that holds back the river of manifestation. In a small coastal town, an elderly woman kept decades of betrayals locked within her heart like treasures in a steel vault. Each morning, she would mentally polish these old hurts until they gleamed with familiar pain. She replayed the story of the sister who stole her inheritance, the husband who left without goodbye, the friend who revealed her secrets to the town. These memories had become her constant companions, their weight as real as the heavy iron locket she wore around her neck, until one dawn, when the first ray of sunlight struck her window differently, illuminating an ancient truth. She was the jailer of her own abundance. The words emerged from her lips, unbidden but necessary. "I release you all to your highest good," she said. As she spoke these words aloud, something shifted in the air around her. It was as though invisible chains, ones she hadn't even known were there, began dissolving into the morning light. When you hold on to past injuries, you create energetic barriers that block the natural flow of abundance. These barriers operate like radio interference, distorting the clear signal of your manifestations. The universe responds not only to what you consciously declare, but also to the hidden frequencies of your unresolved hurts. Through each day that followed, she continued speaking forgiveness aloud. "I free myself from the weight of these memories," she declared. "I dissolve all contracts of pain." With every declaration, her voice grew stronger, her steps lighter. The locked energy of decades began to release, transforming into pure potential. Along the same coast lived a sailor whose confidence had been shattered by a violent storm that claimed his prized vessel. For months, he avoided the sea, his heart heavy with unspoken blame. The ocean, once his beloved companion, had become an adversary he dared not face. One evening, standing at the shore's edge, listening to the rhythm of the tides, he finally spoke to the waves. "I forgive you, old friend," he said. "You were only being what you are." As these words left his lips, the evening breeze shifted, carrying away the last remnants of his fear. The following week, when he returned to sailing, the winds seemed to know him again, guiding his new vessel with gentle precision. The vibrational mathematics are clear. Forgiveness releases the electromagnetic charge of past pain, allowing new frequencies to emerge. It is not about forgetting or condoning the actions of others. It is about energetic liberation. When you speak words of forgiveness, you are literally restructuring the quantum field around you. Find a quiet space where you can speak aloud. Begin uttering phrases of forgiveness as though they were notes in a healing melody. "I release all past hurts. I dissolve all energetic contracts. I free myself and others from the bonds of blame." Feel the density of old pain beginning to lighten with each word. Recognize that this relief itself is an act of creation, making space for new manifestations to emerge. This is the frequency of forgiveness. This is how you clear the channel for miracles. There lived a woman who understood a truth as ancient as the stars themselves, a truth that most have forgotten in the noise of the modern world. Each morning, as the sun painted the sky in hues of amber and rose, she would sit in absolute stillness and speak 3 simple words. She would say, "I am peace." She did not speak these words as mere sounds pushed through her lips, nor as a hopeful request. She spoke them as vibrations emerging from the bedrock of her being. Day after day, she wove these words into the fabric of her consciousness until the phrase became more than language. It transformed into a living force within her biology. As weeks passed, those who encountered her noticed a remarkable change. Her presence alone seemed to quiet stormy minds and soothe troubled hearts. She had become a walking sanctuary, her very being radiating the peace she declared. The secret lay not in the mechanical repetition of words, but in the knowing, the unshakable certainty that accompanied each utterance. With every declaration, her neural pathways realigned, creating channels through which divine wisdom could flow more freely. Her mind became a sacred temple, built not of stone and mortar, but of consistent, conscious declaration. In a small town nearby, a grocer lived whose store sat at the busy corner of Main Street. He discovered that before opening his shop each morning, if he hummed gentle blessings while arranging his produce, something magical would unfold. The vibrations of his melodic benedictions seemed to infuse the very air. Customers who entered his store often paused in the doorway, touched by an inexplicable sense of calm. Many remarked that shopping there felt like stepping into a peaceful garden. He never spoke of his morning ritual to anyone, yet the effects rippled through everyone who crossed his threshold. His simple practice demonstrated how sacred sound could transform ordinary space into hallowed ground. The universe responds not to the words themselves, but to the covenant they represent. Your voice is the bridge formed between mortal understanding and infinite wisdom. When we align our speech with higher frequencies, we create doorways through which divine energy can flow into physical expression. Select one sacred phrase that resonates deeply within your soul. Let it become your constant companion, as natural as your heartbeat. Speak it not with your lips alone, but with your entire being. Allow it to sink into your cells until it becomes your native tongue, until the distinction between the speaker and the spoken dissolves. Through this devotion, you will discover that divinity has always been speaking through you. You need only attune yourself to its eternal song. In a mountain village, another woman filled her home with written affirmations, long, intricate declarations covering every inch of her walls. She spent hours crafting elaborate statements, believing that more words would yield greater power. Each morning and evening, she recited these complex phrases like a lawyer reading a contract. Yet her desired changes remained elusive. One dawn, while tending her garden, she watched a single dewdrop catch the sunlight. In that simple gleam, understanding dawned upon her. The universe spoke through elegance, not complexity. That day, she removed her wordy affirmations, replacing them with single words that resonated with pure truth: love, peace, abundance. As she embraced this simpler approach, her manifestations flourished. Her garden yielded more produce, her relationships deepened, and an inner calm emerged that she had never known. The teaching became clear. When words carry pure intention, fewer speak louder than many. A young student struggled with the crushing weight of academic pressure and declining health. His mind raced with worry until he discovered an ancient text speaking of the power of gratitude. Rather than crafting elaborate prayers or detailed visualizations, he chose 2 words: thank you. Before each exam, while eating and upon waking, he whispered these words with genuine feeling. Within weeks, his grades improved dramatically, and his persistent headaches vanished. Classmates remarked on his renewed energy and focus. The universe responds not to quantity, but to quality. When he reduced his spiritual language to its essence, he removed the static between intention and manifestation. His simple thank you carried more power than any lengthy affirmation because it flowed from pure appreciation. This truth echoes through the ages. In the space between words, power grows. When you strip away complexity, you touch the raw force of creation. Like a single musical note that resonates perfectly, a simple phrase aligned with truth ripples through reality with greater impact than a symphony of hollow words. Ancient mystery schools taught that creation began with a single sound. Your own creations need not be more complicated. When you speak with clarity and truth, the universe listens not to the volume of your words, but to the volume of your conviction. Select one word or simple phrase that embodies your deepest truth. Let go of elaborate affirmations for 7 days. Speak only this essential expression with complete presence. Notice how reality responds to this uncluttered vibration. Feel how simplicity allows your intention to shine through, pure and powerful, rewriting the story of your life with elegant precision. In the quiet foothills of an ancient mountain range, an herbalist spent her mornings tending to medicinal plants. Each day brought the same frustration. Her remedies lacked the potency she knew they could possess. One dawn, as she watched steam rise from her morning tea, she noticed how her breath created patterns in the mist. This observation sparked an understanding that would transform her practice forever. Through patient experimentation, she discovered that matching her words to her natural breathing rhythm amplified their power. When she synchronized her speech with her inhales and exhales while preparing her medicines, something remarkable occurred. Her remedies began working with unprecedented effectiveness. Those who took them spoke of feeling not just physical relief, but a deep sense of restoration. The truth reveals itself. Breath is the carrier wave of intention. When you align your speech with your natural breathing rhythm, you tap into the primal current of creation itself. This is not merely about speaking while breathing. It is about understanding that breath is the bridge between formless potential and manifested reality. Each inhale draws in universal life force. Each exhale shapes it through conscious speech. In a sprawling city across the valley, a classical dancer struggled with mechanical movements until he made a similar discovery. His breakthrough came during a frustrated practice session when he began timing his intentions with his breath. "I flow with grace" became synchronized with his exhale. As he continued this practice, his movements transformed from rigid technique into liquid poetry. His audiences spoke of being moved to tears, though they could not explain why. His experience illuminates a vital truth. Breath is the mediator between invisible intention and visible expression. When you harmonize your words with your breathing, you create a seamless channel for manifestation. The breath becomes a sacred vessel, carrying your words from the realm of spirit into the world of form. This ancient wisdom whispers to us still, your breath is the holy bridge between heaven and earth, between thought and thing, between the unspoken and the manifested. Each breath cycle is a miniature creation story. Inhale, gathering potential. Exhale, expressing form. As you move through your day, breathe your words as living art. Let each inhale gather love's essence, and each exhale express creation's power. Feel how this rhythm naturally aligns your speech with universal flow. Your breath becomes the sacred current, carrying truth from formless potential into manifest reality. In a sunlit cottage by the sea, a woman noticed an odd pattern in her life. Every Wednesday, without fail, her favorite teacup would crack. At first, she dismissed these incidents as mere coincidence, replacing cup after cup. Yet, as she observed more closely, she discovered these breaks always occurred when she muttered to herself, "Everything falls apart midweek." Upon this realization, she began listening to her inner dialogue. She found herself unconsciously narrating stories of inevitable breakdown, not just about teacups, but about relationships, projects, and dreams. The universe, she discovered, was faithfully acting out the script she had been writing in her thoughts. What you speak within shapes what manifests without. Your unconscious dialogue serves as the foundation for all that appears in your visible world. Like a playwright whose words become scenes on a stage, your inner narrative constructs the settings and circumstances of your daily life. Through conscious attention, she began revising her internal script. She replaced "everything falls apart" with "all things come together perfectly." Within weeks, not only did her teacups remain whole, but her entire week found a natural rhythm of completion and harmony. Across town, a pianist sat at his grand piano, fingers hovering above silent keys. For years, he had kept a journal filled with complaints about missed opportunities and failed performances. His music, like his writing, carried undertones of regret and resignation. One evening, drawn by an inexplicable urge, he began rewriting his journal entries. Where he had written, "My music never reaches enough people," he penned, "My melodies touch hearts across distances." As he rewrote each page, something shifted in his playing. His concerts began selling out. Listeners spoke of being moved to tears by notes that seemed to speak directly to their souls. His experience reveals a profound truth. When you rewrite your story, you realign the vibrational pattern of your existence. The universe responds not to what you wish to change, but to what you have already changed within your own narrative. Your life is an ongoing story continuously shaped by the words you choose in your most private thoughts. Each mental sentence forms a thread in the cosmic tapestry of your experience. When you consciously edit your inner dialogue, you initiate a ripple of transformation that reaches far beyond your immediate awareness. Begin each morning by editing your mental screenplay. Notice the recurring phrases in your inner dialogue and consciously revise them toward beauty and possibility. Write down 3 situations you wish to transform, then rewrite them as if they have already evolved into their highest expression. Feel the shift as your edited story becomes your living reality. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, a woman discovered that her constant worry had become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Every morning she would rehearse potential disasters. What if the harvest fails? What if illness strikes? What if the winter is too harsh? One by one, her fears materialized, as if the universe took her anxious words as direct orders. One autumn afternoon, while watching children play in golden leaves, their laughter pure and unguarded, something within her awakened. She noticed how the children spoke only of joy, of adventure, of possibility. Their words danced with delight, and their reality reflected this playful energy. From that day forward, she consciously chose the language of joy. When morning came, instead of rehearsing catastrophes, she would declare, "What wonders will this day bring? How will abundance surprise me today? I am grateful for the perfection unfolding." The transformation was immediate and profound. Her garden began yielding more than ever before. Unexpected help arrived precisely when needed. Even the weather seemed to cooperate with her needs. She had discovered that joy itself is a creative frequency, one that the universe delights in amplifying. In the same village lived a woodworker whose beautiful creations never seemed to find buyers. Each time he finished a piece, he would think, "No one will want this. It is not good enough." And his shelves remained full of unsold work. Then one day, inspired by the woman's transformation, he began blessing each creation with words of joy and appreciation. "You will bring beauty to the perfect home," he would say. "You carry warmth and love to those who receive you." As he spoke these joyful blessings over his work, opportunities began appearing. A merchant from a distant city discovered his shop. Orders flowed in. His once stagnant business transformed into a thriving craft. The universe operates on frequencies, and joy resonates at one of the highest. When you infuse your words with genuine delight, you activate a magnetic force that draws corresponding experiences into your life. Along a quiet street in an old town lived a woman known for her exquisite embroidery. For years, she filled her workspace with constant chatter, radio programs, television shows, endless phone conversations. Her needlework, though technically perfect, seemed to lack a certain vitality. One morning, when a power outage silenced her usual companions, she discovered something remarkable. In the unfamiliar quiet, her hands began moving with newfound grace. The patterns flowing from her needle possessed a luminous quality she had never achieved before. The silence, she realized, wasn't empty. It was pregnant with creative wisdom waiting to be born. When you still the endless commentary of your mind, you enter the sacred chamber where divine inspiration dwells. The universe speaks most clearly in the spaces between words. Your voice gains power not from constant use, but from moments of receptive stillness. A sculptor working in marble struggled to hear his art's voice amid the noise of his thoughts. His chisel struck stone with technical precision, but lacked the spark of life. One dawn, he sat before an untouched block of marble in complete stillness. As the minutes passed, the stone began to whisper its secrets. His hands moved only when inner silence revealed the form waiting to emerge. The resulting work seemed to breathe with its own vitality. Silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of the infinite. When you pause the constant narration of your mind, you enter into dialogue with the creative intelligence that shaped the cosmos. In a small mountain village, a woman lived quietly among stone cottages and morning mist. Each dawn, she would wake feeling scattered, her energy dispersed like leaves in an autumn wind. Though she tried many practices to find her center, nothing seemed to anchor her spirit until one transformative morning. As sunlight filtered through her window, she sat in meditation and began to whisper her name, not as a casual utterance, but as an ancient invocation. She breathed her name, letting each syllable resonate through her being. Something shifted in that moment, a recognition deeper than thought. Her name, she realized, was not merely a label, but a frequency, a unique cosmic signature encoded with her soul's purpose. With each repetition, she felt herself aligning with an inner truth. Her scattered energies gathered like particles of light drawn to their source. In a nearby town lived a calligrapher whose studio displayed exquisite manuscripts. Though skilled, he felt his work lacked a certain spark until he began a curious ritual. Before beginning each piece, he would carefully write his own name, infusing each stroke with blessing and gratitude. As he traced the letters, he would silently honor their sacred origin. This simple act transformed his artistry. His pens seemed guided by an unseen hand, creating works of unprecedented beauty. Clients spoke of feeling something special emanating from his designs, a vibrant energy that transcended mere aesthetics. Your name carries the blueprint of your destiny. It is not random but resonant with your soul's frequency. When spoken or written with conscious awareness, it becomes a key unlocking your inherent gifts and true path. Once in a valley where wildflowers danced with morning dew, there lived a woman who would kneel by her bedside each day, hands clasped tightly, reciting prayers like a list of requests to a distant deity. Her words echoed hollow, floating up toward an unreachable ceiling. Yet transformation awaited in the space between her whispered pleas. One dawn, as golden light spilled through her window, she paused mid-prayer. Instead of continuing her usual monologue, she sat in silence. Why do I speak as though the universe is far away? She wondered. In that moment of questioning, something remarkable occurred. She began to feel a presence not above or beyond, but within and around her. She unclenched her hands and opened her palms upward. "You are here," she spoke, not as supplication, but as recognition. To her amazement, warmth flooded her body, a response as clear as spoken words. From that morning forward, her prayers transformed into conversations. She shared her joys, her fears, her gratitude, not as petitions, but as exchanges with an ever-present companion. In a workshop across town, a mechanic discovered a similar truth through an unlikely channel. As a mechanic for 40 years, he had cursed stubborn bolts and muttered at malfunctioning engines. But one day he began speaking to his tools and machines with the same respect one might offer a trusted friend. "Let us work together," he would say, handling each wrench and socket with conscious appreciation. What followed astonished him. Repairs that once took hours resolved themselves in minutes. Engines seemed to reveal their ailments more readily. The clanking of metal against metal became less harsh, more harmonious. Every atom, every object, every circumstance carries consciousness. When you address it with respect and awareness, you activate its inherent intelligence. In a bustling marketplace, a merchant's daughter faced empty shelves and mounting bills. Each morning, she would stare at her ledger, anxiety tightening her chest. Yet within those moments of scarcity lay a seed of abundance waiting to sprout. Instead of dwelling in worry, she began a curious practice. With unwavering calm, she would softly state, "All needs are met." At first, the words felt hollow against the stark reality of her situation, but she persisted. As days passed, a subtle shift occurred. Her shoulders relaxed, her breath deepened, and most remarkably, opportunities began appearing. A forgotten debt was repaid. A new supplier offered better terms. It was her certainty that had altered the very fabric of her reality. Across town lived an artist whose paintings captured the soul of the city. Though talented, commissions had been scarce. One evening, while cleaning his brushes, wisdom whispered in his heart. He began describing his success as though it had already manifested. "I am grateful for the abundance of commissions that flowed to me this month," he declared. "My art has touched many lives." Within days, a collector discovered his work. Within weeks, his calendar overflowed. He understood he hadn't changed his technique. He had shifted his relationship with abundance itself. The universe moves according to the certainty in your words. In a quiet village lived a woman who discovered the sacred art of bodily communion. Each morning, as pain coursed through her joints, she would lay her hands upon herself and whisper, "You are loved, you are whole, you are divine perfection expressing." The transformation began subtly. First a lessening of morning stiffness, then a gradual return of vitality. Her healing accelerated not through force, but through the tender consistency of her loving words. This truth found further expression through a nurse whose hands brought comfort to the sick. While tending to a patient, he felt moved to speak directly to the patient's cells. In soft tones, he would affirm their innate intelligence and capacity for renewal. To his amazement, patients in his care began recovering at remarkable rates. Wounds healed more swiftly, fevers broke more readily. He had discovered that flesh and blood respond to the frequency of love expressed through conscious speech. The body is not a mechanical system requiring force. It is a living intelligence awaiting dialogue. In the quiet hills of a mountain village, there lived a woman who filled countless journals with beautiful, intricate intentions. Each morning she would sit by her window and write elaborate promises about the paintings she intended to create, the stories she would tell, and the wisdom she planned to share with the world. Her words on the page sparkled with electric possibility. Yet, year after year, her easel remained untouched, draped in a sheet that gathered dust. Her stories remained unwritten, trapped in the ink of her pen. Day after day, she proclaimed her artistic destiny to the paper, while her brushes sat dry and stiff. "Tomorrow," she would say to herself, "I shall paint my masterpiece." But tomorrow became a perpetual horizon, always visible but never reached. The universe, it seemed, had grown deaf to her declarations. Through months of mounting frustration, she began to understand a deeper, sharper truth about the sacred language of creation. Words alone, without the vessel of movement, were like seeds scattered on solid stone. They held potential, yes, but they had no root system. It was only when she finally stood up, lifted her brush, mixed her colors, and physically touched the canvas that her promises found fertile soil. With each stroke of paint, her declarations took physical form, and the power of her words multiplied through the alchemy of action. In a bustling city miles away, a runner spoke confidently of breaking records and winning championships. His words soared with certainty as he told friends of his upcoming victories. "I am swift as the wind," he would declare, his voice ringing with conviction. Yet, his running shoes remained clean and unused beneath his bed. Each morning, he chose the comfort of sleep over the discipline of training, yet he continued to speak of triumph. His results remained stagnant until one wise mentor shared an ancient truth with him. The universe responds not to our words alone, but to the harmony between speech and deed. Only when he began rising before dawn, feeling the cold pavement beneath his feet, did his declarations of victory gain momentum. His times improved, not through grander statements, but through the quiet dignity of aligned action. The secret whispered through both their stories is clear. Logos, the creative power of speech, flows through channels carved by consistent action. When word and deed unite, they form a complete circuit through which universal power can flow without resistance. It is not enough to speak of mountains moving. Our hands must reach out to shift the first stone. As the sun rises tomorrow, choose one declaration close to your heart. Then, with deliberate care, let your actions mirror your words throughout the day. If you speak of abundance, let your hands share freely. If you declare health, let your feet carry you toward wellness. Feel how your words gain substance and power when carried on the wings of aligned action. For in this dance between speech and deed, the ancient power of logos finds its fullest expression. In a small town among rolling hills, a woman noticed how discord had crept into her neighborhood like a subtle gray fog. Arguments over property lines, disputes about noise, and petty grievances had woven an invisible web of tension through the streets. One morning, as she watered her flowers, wisdom whispered in her heart. Words united could heal what words divided. She began simply inviting 3 neighbors to join her for tea and what she called moments of harmony. Together, they spoke words of peace, not as mere wishes, but as living declarations. Our community flows with understanding, they would say. Love guides each interaction. Harmony dwells in every home. At first, some smiled politely, questioning the purpose of such a practice. Yet she knew that when multiple voices align in pure intention, the vibration grows exponentially. Within weeks, their circle expanded. 10, then 20 neighbors gathered in her garden. Their voices rose together. "We are one family, bound by respect. Peace flows through our streets like a gentle stream." As their words merged, something shifted in the physical reality of the town. The angry letters about property lines ceased. Children from formerly feuding families began playing together. Gardens flourished as neighbors shared tools and knowledge. The power of collective logos revealed itself most remarkably when the director of the local choir witnessed this transformation. Inspired by these gatherings, he introduced gratitude songs into his choir's practice. "Let us sing our thanks for this moment, this town, these connections," he guided them. Their harmonies carried more than music. They bore the frequency of appreciation. The choir's weekly performances in the town square became occasions of profound unity. Shop owners stepped outside to listen. Strangers smiled at one another. The vibration of 30 voices expressing gratitude reshaped the town's emotional architecture. Crime rates dropped. Local businesses reported increased cooperation. Even the weather seemed to respond, bringing gentle rains when needed and sun for community events. Each declaration spoken in unison, each song of thanks sung in harmony, demonstrated an eternal truth. When humans align their speech in higher purpose, they tap into creation's original chorus. The power of one voice multiplies exponentially through unity, like a single candle lighting hundreds more without diminishing its own flame. Find at least one other person to join you in speaking words of blessing together. Voice the same affirmation 3 times, feeling your combined energy amplify the intention. Notice how shared speech carries greater authority than solitary utterance. As you practice, imagine your unified voices joining the eternal song that sustains all life. A gentle breeze carried whispers through an ancient olive grove where a woman sat beneath gnarled branches, her weathered journal open in her lap. As she turned each page, memories of her written words stirred something deeper within her, not mere recollections, but divine resonance. In moments of quiet reflection, she discovered that her daily journaling had transformed into a sacred dialogue. What began as simple diary entries revealed themselves as channels of wisdom, each page containing messages that seemed to arise from a source beyond herself. Through her pen, the universe had been speaking all along. The truth unfolds through the ink of sincerity. Every genuine word penned with presence becomes a verse in the eternal manuscript of creation. When you write from the heart's knowing, your lines carry the same creative force that authored existence itself. This revelation reminds us that sacred texts were once simple words flowing through open vessels. The difference lies not in the writer, but in the alignment with truth. Your shopping lists, love letters, and midnight musings all hold the potential to transmit divine frequencies when written in conscious connection. In a small village studio, a potter shaped clay with practiced hands while humming ancient melodies. One day, inspiration moved him to etch words of blessing into each bowl before firing it. Peace flows eternal, and love nourishes all, emerged in flowing script around the rims. Soon customers reported strange experiences. Meals shared from these vessels brought harmony to family dinners. Arguments dissolved, connections deepened, and grace seemed to pour forth with every serving. The clay had become a conductor of consciousness, proving that even everyday objects can channel higher vibrations through intentional inscription. When we recognize that all creation springs from the word, we understand that our writing carries the same generative power. Your journal is not separate from the sacred texts of old. It is their modern continuation, your unique expression of the one eternal story being told through all life. The universe longs to write through you, to inscribe its wisdom in your unique hand. Every stroke of your pen can carry codes of transformation when guided by truth rather than habit. Your grocery lists become prayers, your thank you notes become blessings, your signatures become sacred seals. Before writing anything today, pause and align with the sacred scribe within. Feel your hand as an instrument of divine expression. Let each word flow from presence rather than program. Write even mundane notes with the reverence of one inscribing holy text, knowing that consciousness flows through every letter you form. Watch as your written words begin to pulse with power, carrying light through ink into manifest form. In a bustling marketplace, a woman noticed an elderly person struggling with heavy bags. Instead of simply helping physically, she spoke words of strength and vitality. "May your steps be light and your journey blessed," she said. The person's posture immediately shifted, their eyes brightening as new energy coursed through their frame. This moment awakened her to a profound truth. For years, she had kept her spiritual practices private, using affirmations and declarations solely for her own transformation. But now she understood that the power of the word multiplies when freely given to others. Each morning, she began blessing everyone she encountered. To the mail carrier, she said, "May joy fill your route today." To the baker, "May abundance flow through your hands." To children passing by, "May your dreams take wing." What unfolded next defied ordinary explanation. The mail carrier reported finding lost packages effortlessly. The baker's bread gained a reputation for healing properties. Children started achieving their aspirations in unexpected ways. These miracles taught a vital principle. Words of blessing create circuits of divine energy. When you direct the power of logos outward, it returns magnified. Your speech becomes a conduit for universal force, transforming both the giver and the receiver. In another part of town, a street musician discovered the same truth. Rather than simply performing for tips, he began offering kind phrases to each passerby. "Your presence brings light to this day," or "The world is better because you are in it." Soon he noticed strange patterns emerging. People he had blessed would reappear at crucial moments, bearing exactly what he needed. A guitar string when his broke, an umbrella before an unexpected storm, directions to a life-changing opportunity. The more he blessed others, the more synchronicity wove through his life. This demonstrates an eternal law. Logos directed outward creates a field of harmonious attraction. Your blessed words ripple through the fabric of reality, orchestrating perfect timing and divine coincidence. The universe responds not to what you request, but to what you freely give. Bless 3 strangers with genuine words of light today. Speak to their highest potential, their inherent divinity, their natural abundance. Do this without expectation of return, simply allowing your inner radiance to overflow through language. Notice how this practice transforms both your reality and theirs, creating waves of grace that extend far beyond your immediate perception. In the heart of a small coastal town lived a woman who spent her days resisting life's challenges. Each morning brought a fresh wave of resistance as she fought against whatever the universe placed before her. When rain threatened her garden party, she cursed the clouds. When clients requested changes to her designs, she tensed with frustration. Her words became weapons of defense against what she perceived as life's constant attacks. Yet one morning, as she watched the sun rise over the ocean, a peculiar thought washed over her like the gentle tide. What if resistance itself was the source of her struggle? In that moment of clarity, she whispered her first genuine yes to the dawn. The simple word felt foreign on her tongue, yet strangely liberating. From that day forward, she began an experiment in acceptance. When traffic slowed her morning commute, instead of her usual complaints, she would say, "Yes, I welcome this moment to breathe deeply." When unexpected bills arrived, she would affirm, "Yes, I open myself to new channels of abundance." With each acceptance, she noticed the sharp edges of her circumstances softening, as if the universe was responding to her newfound willingness to dance with it rather than fight against it. The transformation in her life unfolded like a flower reaching towards sunlight. Projects that once seemed insurmountable became adventures in possibility. Relationships that had been strained by her resistance began to heal through her practice of acceptance. She discovered that saying yes wasn't surrender. It was an invitation to infinite potential. Across town, an inventor sat in his cluttered workshop, surrounded by half-finished prototypes and crumpled blueprints. For years, his creative process had been blocked by an endless stream of complaints. "These materials are inadequate," he would say. "This design will never work. I do not have enough time." His words had become a cage, trapping his genius behind bars of negativity. One evening, while staring at a particularly challenging prototype, he decided to shift his internal dialogue. Instead of his usual frustration, he asked with genuine curiosity, "What if this apparent obstacle is actually the key to something extraordinary?" That single question, spoken aloud with wonder rather than defeat, sparked a cascade of insights. He began approaching each invention with questions of possibility. How might this work better? What amazing solution awaits discovery? What if the perfect answer is already here? His workshop became a sanctuary of affirming curiosity, and the universe responded with a torrent of innovation. Ideas that had eluded him for months suddenly appeared in dreams, during walks, or in the quiet moments between thoughts. Within weeks, solutions to long-standing design problems emerged effortlessly. His inventions began working in ways he hadn't imagined possible, as if the very atoms of his materials were responding to his new frequency of wonder and acceptance. The core truth revealed through their experiences is profound. When you align your words with acceptance rather than resistance, the universe shifts from perceived adversary to cooperative partner. Your yes becomes a key that unlocks doors previously hidden from view. Throughout your day, pronounce a gentle yes to whatever arises. When challenges appear, soften your response with acceptance. Notice how this simple shift in language transforms what once seemed like obstacles into doorways of opportunity. Let your yes become a bridge between limitation and infinite possibility. A gentle breeze stirred the wind chimes outside a meditation room where a woman had always rushed through her daily affirmations. Like many spiritual practitioners, she believed more words meant greater power. Yet on this particular morning, something shifted in her understanding. As the wind chimes created their melodic conversation, she noticed how the spaces between each note gave the sound its beauty. In that moment, she realized she had been filling every moment with words, leaving no room for divine resonance. She began to space her affirmations with conscious pauses, allowing each declaration to settle into the fabric of existence. The universe responded with remarkable clarity. Her manifestations, once scattered and weak, now materialized with surprising precision. The secret lay not in the quantity of her words, but in the sacred spaces between them, those precious moments where creation itself could breathe and take form. This wisdom rippled outward, touching those around her. Among them was a public speaker whose passionate speeches had always left audiences mentally exhausted. As a speaker, he believed in filling every second with sound, afraid that silence would lose his listeners' attention. One day, after hearing about the power of pauses, he transformed his approach. During his next lecture, he allowed intentional silences to punctuate his words. To his amazement, these moments of quiet didn't disconnect his audience. They drew them closer. Each pause became a bridge where understanding could deepen, where wisdom could root itself in the fertile soil of consciousness. His listeners reported feeling the messages not just in their minds but in their very being. The spaces between his words had become sacred vessels, carrying meaning far deeper than mere language could convey. What he had once feared as empty silence revealed itself as the very breath of transformation. These experiences illuminate a profound truth. The power of logos flows not just through sound, but through stillness. Just as music requires both notes and rests to create harmony, divine speech needs both expression and silence to manifest its full creative force. Sit in natural surroundings and observe how you speak. Begin incorporating deliberate pauses between your words, treating each silence as a sacred space where miracles incubate. Feel how these intervals allow your declarations to sink deeper into the quantum field. Practice this especially during prayers and affirmations, knowing that in these holy pauses, the universe contemplates and weaves your words into reality. In a small cottage filled with ordinary gray furnishings, a woman sat in contemplation of the dullness surrounding her. Like many who walked the path of manifestation, she had focused solely on choosing the right words. Yet something vital was missing from her practice. One morning, as sunlight painted her walls in golden hues, understanding dawned within her heart. She began infusing her speech with vivid colors, not just in metaphor, but in felt sensation. When speaking of abundance, she wrapped her words in rich emerald green, feeling prosperity's verdant nature pulse through each syllable. Her affirmations for love glowed with rose pink, while declarations of spiritual truth shimmered with pure white light. To her amazement, her environment began responding. The plants in her garden grew more vibrantly, their leaves displaying deeper shades of green. Her relationships bloomed with newfound warmth, as though the pink light of her loving words had painted reality itself. Even the atmosphere in her home transformed, taking on the exact qualities of the colors she spoke into being. This revelation found its way to an artist whose work had always felt incomplete despite his technical skill. His paintings, while competent, lacked the spark of life he yearned to express. Upon learning of this discovery, he began speaking colors aloud as he worked, letting each shade rise from his heart through his voice before touching brush to canvas. Cerulean peace, he would intone, feeling the cool tranquility of blue saturate his brush strokes. Golden joy, he declared, watching as sunlight seemed to pour from his palette. His studio became a sanctuary where spoken color and painted form merged into one unified expression. Collectors soon noticed the difference. They spoke of feeling actual emotions emanating from his canvases, as though the paintings themselves were speaking in hues of feeling. One patron described standing before his work as listening with my eyes to a symphony of color. Their experiences unveil an essential truth about the nature of logos. Words carry not just meaning, but vibrational frequency, which manifests as color in the subtle realms before materializing in physical form. When you speak with chromatic consciousness, you encode reality with the full spectrum of divine expression. As you speak your daily intentions, immerse each word in the color that matches its essence. Feel gratitude as golden light, peace as soft blue, vitality as radiant green. Let these colors flow through your voice, painting your declarations with the exact hues you wish to manifest. Notice how your environment begins to resonate with these chromatic frequencies, reflecting back the colored light of your conscious speech. The universe responds not just to your words, but to the living colors you weave through them. In the quiet morning hours, a woman noticed something peculiar as she prepared her morning tea. Each thought that crossed her mind seemed to receive an immediate response from the world around her. When she pondered the meaning of a dream, a dove landed on her windowsill. As she wondered about calling her sister, the phone rang with her sister's voice on the other end. At first, she dismissed these occurrences as mere coincidence. Yet as days passed, she began to recognize a pattern. The universe was engaged in constant conversation with her. When she silently asked for guidance about a career decision, a book fell from her shelf, opening to a passage that contained her answer. When she expressed gratitude for the morning sun, the clouds parted to reveal an unusually brilliant dawn. The more she acknowledged these responses, the more frequent and clear they became. The universe, she discovered, spoke in a language of synchronicity through number sequences, chance encounters, and perfectly timed events. This divine dialogue required no words, only awareness and recognition. Through this silent exchange, she learned that creation itself maintains an ongoing conversation with every soul. The universe's voice emerges through the precise orchestration of events, each one carrying a message for those attuned to listen. Your thoughts are questions cast into the infinite, and life's unfolding provides the answers. In a bustling restaurant across town, a waiter discovered this same truth through a different path. He began expressing silent gratitude to the unseen forces. After receiving each tip, "Thank you, Divine Spirit," he would whisper inwardly, acknowledging the abundance flowing through his life. What began as a simple practice soon revealed its transformative power. He noticed his tips increasing steadily, but more significantly, he experienced a continuous stream of small blessings. Difficult customers became agreeable. Rushed moments flowed smoothly. Even during slow periods, unexpected generosity found its way to his table. The universe, he realized, responds to acknowledgement like a flower turning toward the sun. His gratitude created a channel through which abundance could flow more freely. Each "thank you" strengthened this connection, weaving a tapestry of ongoing blessing. This eternal dialogue requires neither special ritual nor elaborate ceremony. It flows naturally when you recognize that existence itself is an endless conversation between consciousness and creation. Every moment carries the potential for divine communication through subtle signs, meaningful coincidences, and the gentle orchestration of circumstances that guide your path. Begin treating each coincidence as a direct message from the universe. When synchronicities appear, acknowledge them with warmth as you would a friend's greeting. Maintain this loving dialogue throughout your day, seeing every moment as part of an eternal conversation. Let your heart remain open to the infinite ways the universe speaks, knowing that divine communion never ceases. It simply awaits your recognition and response. In the depths of a meditation retreat, a woman sat motionless as understanding dawned within her heart. For years, she had studied sacred texts, chanted mantras, and practiced affirmations, searching endlessly for the perfect words to manifest her desires. Yet, in this moment of profound stillness, she discovered that the highest expression of divine language required no sound at all. As she rested in this revelation, memories surfaced of all the times she had struggled to find the right phrases, believing that exact wording would unlock the universe's secrets. Now she saw that those efforts, while part of her journey, had been like waves on the surface of a vast ocean. Beneath them lay something far more fundamental, the silent knowing of love itself. Through this wordless wisdom, she experienced reality shifting without effort. Her relationships harmonized, health flourished, and abundance flowed. Not because she spoke certain phrases, but because she had touched the source from which all words emerge. She realized that language itself was merely the outer ripple of this deeper current of being. The universe, she discovered, does not require elaborate declarations. It responds to the simple resonance of your true nature, which is love expressing itself through form. This silent knowing carries more power than all the affirmations ever spoken, for it connects directly with the creative force that birthed existence itself. Along a distant shore, a spiritual seeker came to this same truth through a different gateway. After years of searching across continents, he found himself standing at the ocean's edge. As sunset painted the horizon and waves lapped at his feet, he whispered words of gratitude, not from habit or practice, but from spontaneous appreciation of beauty. In that moment, something extraordinary occurred. His whispered thanks began to synchronize with the rhythm of the waves. Soon, he could no longer distinguish where his voice ended and the ocean's song began. The boundary between observer and observed dissolved, revealing that all of creation speaks one unified language, the eternal song of being itself. Through this experience, he understood that what we call God's voice and our own voice are not separate things. They are one breath, one vibration, one endless expression of love taking form. All of existence flows from this single source, speaking itself into manifestation through countless forms while remaining forever whole. This highest teaching transcends technique or method. It points to the truth that you are already the creative word, made flesh. Your very presence is the universe speaking itself into form. When you rest in this knowing, all effort falls away. What remains is the natural expression of love through your unique embodiment. Rest where words end and awareness begins, sensing that you are the ongoing creative sound of eternity. Let go of all techniques and simply be the silence from which all sound emerges. In this space beyond language, recognize yourself as the living word through which the universe expresses its endless love. The final truth emerges not through complex incantations or elaborate rituals, but through the simple recognition that you are already speaking the language of creation itself. Your every word ripples through the quantum field. Your every thought sends waves through the cosmic ocean of consciousness. The universe is not a distant entity to be petitioned. It is the ongoing dialogue between your inner knowing and outer manifestation. Through everything we have explored together, you have witnessed how ordinary souls rediscovered this primordial power. Their stories mirror your own journey of remembering that which was never truly forgotten. Like them, you are learning that the highest form of spiritual speech requires no special training. It flows naturally when you align with the love that underlies all existence. The electromagnetic signature of your words shapes reality in ways science is only beginning to comprehend. Yet this power operates not through force, but through resonance. When you speak from that still center, where thought and feeling unite, the universe responds not as a servant, but as a partner in creation. This is the paradox at the heart of divine speech. The more you relax into simply being, the more effortlessly your words carry creative force. No longer must you struggle to find perfect phrases or memorize sacred formulas. Instead, allow yourself to become a clear channel through which universal wisdom naturally flows. Your speech now becomes your prayer, your silence, your meditation. Every word carries the frequency of your consciousness. Every pause allows divine intelligence to work through you. You are not learning a new language, but remembering your native tongue, the very vibration that sang galaxies into being. Let this awareness transform how you engage with life itself. The universe eagerly awaits your voice, not as a beggar, but as a beloved co-creator. Speak with the quiet confidence of one who knows that reality itself is your eternal conversation partner. Now, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. In the comments below, drop one single word that captures the energy you are choosing right now. One word that represents the frequency you are stepping into. This is not just engagement, This is you leaving an energetic signature in the quantum field. This is you declaring to the universe exactly what you are calling in. Do it now. And if this journey has resonated with you, if you are feeling called to stay in this frequency and keep exploring this space where consciousness meets creation, then subscribe. But do not subscribe just to stay connected. Subscribe to stay coherent. Subscribe to stay aligned with this truth that words are not just sounds, but the very architecture of reality itself. Because the more of us who understand this, who embody this, and who live this truth, the more the world reflects that frequency back. We are not just learning information here. We are stepping into a movement of conscious creation, and I want you here for every step of that journey. If you are ready to expand your consciousness and step into your next quantum leap, subscribe now, leave a comment below, and share this message with someone ready to awaken. Let us continue speaking new realities into existence together. Everything is logos, and you are the living word.